take
Probably
place.
pisses
It's
off
always,
people at this store. Well, I guess he's not.
so I don't know what's going on here with this camera. It's the same. I don't know why my camera wants to live stream in a vertical. It's just not a smart thing to do.
You should probably look it up before you watch it.
I guess I can look it up somewhere on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Nobody here yet.
In 14 miles, exit left
Keep
to
trudging
Project
on.
555
Yeah.
north towards St.
I
Louis.
would wait from here.
I'm very spontaneous. That's one of the things I do. I just feel like, you and I talk about some pretty interesting things when we're together for long periods of time.
I'm not going to see that truck.
Oh, I can show that truck there.
Look at that.
Look at that well restored truck. Hopefully that wasn't just, live, or what do you call it? The sun right in your eyes.
Oh, are we live now?
Yeah. There is our Shepherds LLC. Shalom.
Hello.
And David March, safe travels. We decided to go live just because it helps make the time pass as we're traveling along. And is that what I'm showing? I guess that is what I'm showing. Should I be showing myself? How did that happen? Oh, that's weird. Okay. That is weird. Alright, I don't know how I did that. How did I turn the camera around with it still live streaming?
Lord knows.
Yeah.
Your own birthday. Maybe you can do it while you're staying.
There's the Greek sister and Palmetto paratrooper.
Oh, Meadow, our trooper.
Common
I sent him a
sense
picture of
prevails.
Paul Meadow the other day.
That's right. You gotta, there it is. I can turn it around. Okay, I was gonna say, I didn't want it turned around. I wanted to see what you guys are saying. The camera's a little gooey though. It's fuzzy. Doesn't look like it over there.
We'll just wipe off the camera part of the phone.
Right. You know us, we always start out with these little glitches. Maybe it's the sunlight. We are driving and we were talking about some what we thought were kind of interesting things and thought we'd just like get y'all in on it. So how many of you know what the little Boy Scout emblem is? Oh, wait a minute, we gotta say good morning. Good morning,
Good morning to everybody.
Colleen and
Come on.
Lampkeeper and Colson
Oh,
Barfield.
that's Irene.
Come on, Irene. In this moment,
I knew a girl in high school named Colleen.
everything. My cousin's name was Colleen.
Colleen is like a
girl.
kind of like Sheila. Yeah,
Right,
it's
like
a
Sheila.
girl, but an Irish, right?
Can you guys hear us? All right, Colleen knew that the Boy Scout emblem is a fleur-de-lis.
And we were talking about if we just showed a picture of a fleur-de-lis and said to everybody in McDonald's, what is this shape called? I bet you nobody would know.
Right? And I bet you also nobody would know that the fleur-de-lis is the Boy Scout emblem. And it's also been used in a lot of people's coat of arms.
It's the flower of the lily.
Oh, you see, you stole my thunder.
Oh, sorry. Forget what I said. That's a terrible picture. What's going on there?
That's what I said. I think it's because the sun is shining right at the camera.
The camera's shining at us. The sun's over there.
Yeah, but the thing is there.
We'll see if it changes when you do it. I move the camera like this.
Yes, a little bit. It's still a little fuzzy, but it's better.
Maybe clean your camera less.
Well, with what? We've already had
And
this.
then wipe it on your shirt or something.
It's indented in there. Like you can't. All right, hang on, y'all.
That's what you get for putting mayonnaise on your camera lens.
That's right.
Eat it with your sandwich.
No, it's looking pretty good there.
You
My
must be near
family.
the airport. There are a lot of low-flying jet aircraft.
Oh, there's one right there. Palmetto paratrooper said his family crest is basically 3 ducks.
3 ducks.
Ducks were important in the medieval time frame. It was important for eggs and food.
8.2 miles.
There's Linda Hipple, Shalom's sister Caitlin crew.
Shut. Oh,
Yeah,
it's a hipper.
the crew. A lot of you guys up this morning. Palmetto paratrooper then said, and they're all in a row. Maybe your family
Get your
was.
ducks in a row.
Maybe your family was very organized. Here we go. There we go. All right. Yeah. All right, I cleaned it. Didn't make one bit of difference.
All right. Well,
So you guys are up and going this morning, which is nice, and so are we. We're traveling with intention.
traveling with intention. We're on a journey.
We don't.
We're 3 men traveling on the land.
That's right. We don't randomly just hop in the car and start driving. There's always a plan.
I'm actually going to do a video on my Patreon on some of the stuff we brought.
Some of the stuff we brought.
Yes, for
the
this
trip?
For this journey. Yes.
Okay, done with work for the morning, said engineer to see time to relax and get chores done. Yeah, we've been able to not do chores for
A week.
a week, which has kind of allowed all our aches and pains to subside
Not mine. I have more aches and pains now.
and to recover.
I have not recovered. I need to recover. I'm very sick.
Lamp keepers giving up caffeine.
Why? God, why? Speaking of caffeine levels, dangerously low. Welcome to, if you want to tell them.
Tennessee welcomes you. Tennessee welcomes you.
Tennessee welcomes me.
That's right. We were just talking about caffeine. What else? Oh, chores. Yes. So we're going to have to get back into the swing of things, but we're going to do it
My
slowly.
hands have gotten soft, like a woman's.
Yeah, they have. And mine feel like a woman's too. Weird. Colleen said, had my coffee about 6 o'clock this morning. I've been up since 4. Oh, you're an early riser.
I woke up at 4, but I went back to sleep.
And Rachel Heighthouse is drinking a NOS right now.
Shouldn't drink NOS. Talk to me about NOS next time I see you. You shouldn't drink it.
No, go get a Celsius. Don't do the NOS. Home of the volunteer. That's what Tennessee is, a volunteer
Volunteer
state.
state, yeah.
Very good. You guys are on the ball this morning.
Why do people drive slowly in the left lane?
This is the mantra of the trip. A constant commentary on slow people in the fast lane.
Get the heck out of the lane.
I try to change the
I
subject.
need a minigun. Like
Really?
a 20 millimeter minigun.
I really do try to change the subject, but we always come back to that. So that's another reason to live stream. At least we can talk about something.
And then be one of those things that pops up out of the top.
Yes, you should not be allowed to have a minigun on top of the car.
I should.
I knew the roadside you were showing looked like the part of the country I grew up in, Palmetto paratrooper. You can take the paratrooper out of the Palmetto, but you can't take the Palmetto out of the paratrooper. That's right. There's Carrie Stennett. Good morning. All right. Okay.
3.1 miles. What?
Okay. Yeah, we're about to go over to the mighty Mississippi. It's pretty impressive. So yeah, the fleur-de-lis, it's called the lily flower, and it's French, obviously, and it's a symbol that's been around a really long time. It was very used a lot in medieval time and even earlier. Just like in Asia Minor, India, the orchid flower and portrayals of orchids is done in is done in art and sculpture and everything. It's
toward St.
very
Louis.
popular.
Oh, that car
Symbol.
is burnt.
Oh, that was a crispy car right back there. That thing was
Totally
barbecued.
burnt.
Looked like the engine blew up or something. Oh, so we got on that, and then I said, if we walked into a McDonald's and asked people what a fleur-de-lis was, they wouldn't know. They don't even know what the Revolutionary War was and who fought it, which is a shame.
Which is why you should not be at McDonald's, because you'll just get dumber.
That's right. You go eat at McDonald's, you're going to get dumber and dumber. Thank
Until
you.
the restriction ends.
Thank you for asking, Modern Yael. How are we feeling? I'm feeling okay. You can hear in my voice, I'm still having issues with
She got the vid.
that, the COVID cough, and we are taking some meds for the symptoms. Some, like
Use the
Tylenol.
left 2 lanes to exit left to merge onto I-55 north toward St. Louis.
I-55, St. Louis, here we go.
And Mucinex to help dry up the phlegm and stuff. So we're not, it's like having a cold. It's like a bad cold. Luckily for us, this one that we have this time
Exit
around
left.
is not a really severe one. And neither one of us have any of the bad problems that make COVID worse. So thank
What
you
do
for
they call
asking.
those? Complicating factors?
Yeah, the complicating
They call it
factors
something else,
that,
like if you're
right, they
obese or
do.
have heart disease. Or,
What is that?
what is that phrase they use?
Man, I can't remember. The Creek Homestead says, drink water!
I am coffee flavored water.
Between the welcoming Tennessee sign, the mention of the river. Now listen here,
Come
don't,
on, people.
Palmetto, don't be
boy.
smart.
5.5 miles. Take the exit to merge onto I-55 north toward St. Louis.
Hang on. The light button. Light button? No, that's a filter button. Comorbidities. Okie Storm Chaser.
Look, he's
Always
for the win.
For the win,
Okie
right?
for the win.
He is on the ball. Yes, he is. You're right. We don't
He's a
have any
paramedic, right?
comorbidities.
Isn't he a paramedic?
He's a weather guy. I don't know if he's a paramedic too. Sister, look up fever purge. Why don't you
We don't
just?
really have fevers.
Yeah, we don't have fevers.
Pretty good, actually. I mean, I feel like I have a head cold. That's it.
Yeah. Drink water. Please hit the like button. I don't have. Oh, you mean like. The mentioning of the river and talking GPS. I know almost exactly where y'all are. If I can tell, so
Oh, yeah.
can others. It's okay, Palmetto. We're not worried about it.
We got people on the land. That's good.
Plus, you're gonna chase 2 foxes? That just strikes me as not unless you got really fast horses. Anyway, there is Soapy Acres Homestead. Shalom. Let's see, don't feel bad. SK, my husband does the same thing with fishing. No matter how many times I try to change the subject, he goes right back to fishing because it's fascinating.
What did I go to the other day? How much food you got stored?
Yes, that was
And
Talk-
his answer was unsatisfactory.
right. Talking to a person they've never met before, get through the niceties, and then how much food you got stored. Always takes people aback. Well, not really a lot. Well, you need more. What if something bad happens? All right, I'm scrolling through your comments, y'all. There's Smiling Mary, good morning. And
Good
Nurse
morning.
Jana, shalom.
Good morning.
And Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson. The only good Indians are dead in Israel. That's what Andrew Jackson said. I think he had some issues with Indians.
He definitely had issues with Indians. And the reason Andrew Jackson did have issues with Indians is because he fought in the Revolutionary War. And as a child, he was like the assistant to some British officer who treated him badly. And he was very angry about the natives who sided with the British during that war. And that's why he always had a chip on his shoulder about it. Anyway, Smiling Mary, thank you for supporting the channel. And Lampkeeper also. She
This area
says,
is ugly. It went from pretty to ugly pretty quick.
now cities often have ugly sections.
All y'all who live in cities,
In 2 miles, take the exit to merge
You
onto
have post-contagious
I-55 north
cough.
towards St.
It's a
Louis.
real medical diagnosis, and I suffer from it every time I get sick. Lamekeeper, we have the COVID cough.
we got the vid.
We both got the vid at the beginning of our trip and didn't know it. And so we've been trying to keep ourselves socially distanced and, hand sanitizing. I've got hand sanitizer in the car and then getting meds to deal with the symptoms. And that's why I'm not going to be shooting any videos for a while because
Well, you're shooting one now. Wait
it's a
minute.
live stream though. This is not, we don't have to plan it.
Why do they force me into this crap? Yeah, I know.
All right, here, let me show you
They're gonna
guys.
let me over.
Yeah, we're getting ready. We're gonna cross that river. Anyway, we got that dry COVID cough. So let's get back to what we were talking about. Sophie
Uh-oh.
Aker says
There is a huge body of water up ahead. It is very big.
we
Oh,
sleep
man.
on our food. Country Life for Us says the American Silverback. Yay! What is that? Check in the FLCCC protocols. Good morning.
Guys, we're not worried
Right.
at all. We're like unconcerned.
Yes, it's too hot in here.
Okay.
Tina Short says, good morning.
Good
So happy
morning,
you're
Tina
feeling
Short.
well enough to travel. Live in the
Absolutely.
country. It's the best. All right, I'm going to show you another photo. Yeah. American,
This is,
right? American city life.
ugh.
Stay in the middle 2 lanes.
Somebody getting rich off of fixing the road,
This is like Bakhmut.
right?
We're driving through eastern Bakhmut.
Factories that nobody can afford to run anymore being turned into storage facilities, construction,
Use the right 2
trash.
lanes to take the exit to merge onto I-55 north
I
towards
can't
St.
go
Louis.
right. They're all blocked off.
Oh, good gracious. Look at the state of this road, and there's your train. Yeah.
I guess this is.
We don't
Stop and turn around.
even, right? We don't even know where we're going. Anyway, I hate crossing the Mississippi. I always have white knuckles.
I love crossing the Mississippi. I want to get on the other side before New Madrid lets go.
That is his main concern, that in the whole world and history and everything,
Got to get across this bad boy.
7.7
that the
miles,
New Madrid
left onto
will let
I-50
go
toward
while
Forsyth.
we are in the middle of a bridge on the Mississippi River. That particular city is extra ugly, says Palmetto. There's parts of it, I've been parts of it that are nice, but there's parts of it that are just wow.
Why you would live here is beyond me.
I don't know, there's a certain Flav to nastiness. All right, here we go. Here we go. Look at that old bridge right there. And wait, is that Huck Finn down there? You can barely see the water from this bridge. It's got these ugly concrete barriers. All right.
Welcome to Arkansas.
What?
Yeah, I know 3 states in 3 minutes. Who knew?
I prefer to think of it as Arkansas, but whatever. John Cox, there's no place like home. Soapy Acre says, I haven't been in a city for years. I was going to tell you a little story. Do not interrupt the story, please.
Okay, I
Way
will
too many
try.
folks on the eastern side of the Mississippi. I survived the Great Quake that didn't shake in the 90s. I live in New Madrid fault line, and they predicted a huge earthquake, but we do have tremors frequently. Don't worry, Cascadia and San Andreas will go off first, everyone
I
says.
don't know about that.
All right. So here's the big city story. You guys want to hear it?
No.
There's Kev Pitt. Love you guys. Thank you, Kev. You guys want to hear the big city story? Give me a thumbs up. Oh, there's one. So Isla Mary says yes. All right. So we were living overseas
No. Never. I'm interrupting. I'm adding.
in a really big city.
Huge.
and it was in the middle of a jungle,
Oh, I know what city you're talking
and
about.
it had really no urban planning. No, it was just humble jumble, as second and third world countries can be. Internationally known, it did have some nice parts. It had some very expensive parts, but it also had parts that were just like you expect a wild animal to
Like,
just sort of
damn.
walk in to your backyard, which we did have happen.
Yes, all manner.
And so, on one hand, it is yucky, right? But on the other hand, I'm a realist, and so it's like it also has a lot of things. And how do you explain it? Well, one is their construction sites. They didn't have dumpsters. So I would drive by this one huge construction site every day, and they had a massive pile of leftover stuff. And they just threw it in a pile. And I'm like, look at all
What
those.
license plates out of Wyoming?
I can't
Why
tell.
would somebody from
You're
Wyoming?
interrupting my story.
Sorry. Drive a vehicle like that.
I'd look at that pile and think, what could I use in there and what would I do with it? Well, I decided while we were still there that I wanted to try to have chickens in this foreign capital city. And so I went about working to get myself a chicken coop. And of course, he was busy. I'm not going to build it. You can't buy one. Where are you going to get one? And then I went and scavenged off that construction pile wire, tin panels, different kinds of wood, wide wood, narrow wood, short wood, and I brought it all home, and I cobbled together a 2-bird chicken coop, just a little bit bigger than like a doghouse. And I put it on stilts, and I used the wire to all the way around it, and it was like chicken wire type wire, and put the tin panel as a roof on it. And I went and bought 2 chickens from a little like gas station at the edge of town that was selling magazines and drinks and candy and things. And I just walked in and asked the clerk, can I have 2 chickens? And they kind of looked at me. And there's a separate word for a live bird and like a dead bird in a meal. And when I told them I wanted live birds for the eggs in their language, they just kind of did one of these, wait a minute, and hopped on a scooter and left the store and were gone about 20 minutes. And when they came back, they had 2 chickens wrapped up in like Walmart style bags, and they cost me
In 2 miles,
about
keep left
50
on
cents a
I-40
piece.
west toward Forest City.
And so I think what they did is they just went back to their village, saw chickens running around, chased them down, grabbed them, and sold them to me. So that is my, there are benefits to being near a big city story. There you go. There we go. There's Westhold Forge. Good morning.
Forge.
And have a question for PJ. If he could live any place in the world, where would it be?
So far about.
Yeah,
I can live any place in the world. Almost. I can live almost any place in the world. I probably couldn't afford to live in Singapore or Paris, but I could live almost anywhere. We live where we choose.
good answer. There is Ladysmith. Shalom, sister. So, you people who have
You people.
pre-ordered my book, please let me know when it actually comes to you, because my publisher is still ironing out details of getting it. It's being produced now, but listing it in the big book sale sites,
It's a learning process. She wasn't ready for such a popular author as you.
it's a learning process, and for new publishers, they have to figure out how you do that in a very effective way, and it takes time. But I am interested in any of you who actually get the book. It should be mailed to you, I'm assuming. I'm keeping track of Amazon like I'm checking it, but it's still not listed there. So I'm assuming you're going to be getting yours in the mail. So just like put it on the community page that you know you got it, or comment in comments on the
We
video.
have busted the Mississippi. We are safe.
Modern Yael, I'm 8 years into a 10-year plan to get out of the city. Well, girl or boy, no, Yael, girl, that is awesome. That's a long-term goal, but it'll pay you out in the end because you're going to be free.
Speed laws strictly enforced.
Congratulations on my book. Thank you. Good morning, SK and PJ. It's a beautiful day for a drive.
Sure is.
I had a 10-year plan to get west of the Mississippi and did it in 8, said Palmetto. I'm thinking I'll be better off taking payout to fund homestead life.
So we did.
That's what we did. I'm a woman. Of course you are. Have any of you all seen the photos? I just saw a real quick photo thing. Had no hair, no facial hair at all. He was overweight.
That's not bad.
He had tattooed his whole face and neck.
That's a target.
He had tons of piercings, and
Front side press.
he called himself an old revolutionary, trans, queer, artist, something or
I
other.
would stop reading at that point and move along.
And I was just like, what? Have you seen these people who do that? Who just tattoo and pierce
Yeah.
their
full of
face
demons, man.
and their neck and everything?
Yes.
Yeah, look at Rachel. Ew. It's so weird. Trying to speed up but working off student loans, fell into the trap. Yep, student loans, it's a what do you call it? Two-way street, one-way street?
You gotta have a plan to pay them off.
Yeah,
Take
you
them
gotta
out.
have a plan to pay them off when you take them out, and some people don't. Palmetto said, I call him an abomination.
Amen, brother. What is this thing? Is that a generator? What is that?
I don't know what that is. What is that? I think you were
What
right
is
the first time. Is that a generator?
Is that some kind of
It's a huge
high
something.
voltage
Cable, it's some kind of,
military term for that equipment?
yeah.
Target.
Modern Yael says they look scary. They're desperate for attention. Ladysmith, exactly right. They are trying to get attention with all that stuff. Yep, encouraging. Yep, all right.
That's
Gross.
four trucks.
I'm trying to talk about these
I'm
guys.
talking about this guy pulling 4 trucks.
He's pulling 4 truck cabs. My dad used to say, it takes all kinds to make a world, doesn't mean I have to like the MFers. Well, what also goes through my head when I see people like that is there's some real desperation there. There is some reaction to bad things happening in their life, and they mutilate themselves, really. But I also think there's maybe a little bit of mental illness there because
Demons.
anarchist,
Demons.
revolutionary, dude, you are a mess. I don't know if he could lead anybody out of a wet paper bag. I don't know a single individual who would follow somebody like that. And you're like that the rest of your life. To have all those things removed, all those tattoos would be excruciating and you'd be scarred so badly. Yuck. It's just terrible. And there's more and more of them in our world. It's kind of scary. It's kind of weird. So what else were we looking at talking about this morning? my son, who's also traveling, found a thing on the YouTube, suspense radio, old school. Oh, Bad Rabbit, nice comment. It's evil showing its dominion over them. And that evil gets there through
Rabbit gets it.
evil acts and evil experiences, and you gotta purify something. It's good. Oh, there's Mike Holland.
Who?
Mike Holland.
Our Mike Holland?
Yeah, our Mike Holland.
Where is he?
Last time he came on here, he was in Africa or something.
Where are you at, brother? Mike Holland, where are you at?
To purge yourself from the things that make you do stuff like pierce yourself and tattoo yourself all over your body, you have to cleanse yourself. You really do. You have to get rid of anything attached to.
Yeah, you gotta have deliverance.
Anything attached to those experiences that are making that negative influence on you, you can free yourself, but you have to want to, and you have to actually either get therapy or, pray for yourself or distance yourself from all that. However you want to say it. Deliverance is the way a lot of believers say it. You got to get that. And then you will be free from all that mess and you can start walking in the light. But you can't do it when you're wallowing in it. Okay, the bush, Kenya.
Kenya?
Yeah. Mental illness can be healed, but until then, I don't have to acknowledge them, said trying and doing. Thank you for supporting the channel.
I almost came to Kenya a couple weeks ago.
That's true. Somebody offered for Pastor to go to Kenya, but he decided not to. Once the first demon is gone, must be vigilant or 7 more worse than the first will come, right? You don't open yourself up again to those bad influences. Once you shut that door, leave it shut. All right, frost till beginning of April, so watch out. Yeah, I've got trees in the orchard covered with blankets, but I don't know if it's going to do any good at all, how cold it's got. Rachel Whitehouse, we are so desperate for help, we hire almost anyone. Cover in tattoos, long acrylic nails, very strange looking caregivers going out to these old people's homes.
I wouldn't do it.
As long as they show up and work, don't dare enforce too much of a dress code, sadly. Yeah, and are these people willing to be compassionate to other people because they have suffered? Because it takes a strong individual to be able to help old people out. It's not easy. And it's also a warning to us older folks to make sure you try to keep good care of yourself and have people around you that you love and trust should you need help. That's why lone wolfing it is not a good plan. Modern Yael, old people should be with their family. Exactly. Their family should be the first one to take care of them. But what if your family's not a good family?
That's your fault.
Right? You gotta find friends who are good friends. Are those people going to end up hurting or stealing from the older people? Bad news, man. Bad news. That's right. And how would you keep your older loved ones secure?
Move them in.
Right?
That's what I do.
Move them in yourself. I refuse, though. At some point, choices matter, says Lady Smith. A couple have been pleasantly surprising, but lots of weirdos, honestly. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing, Rachel. Time for you to start a channel and give people great advice on what to do with their older people. Yep. Too many people not having kids, so they're alone in their old age. Then you're at the mercy of strangers. Mike Holland, paying someone to care for you or someone is the oldest profession. Replace the natural life we should have for our elders with money. And there's not a whole lot of choice there. If it's not family, it's going to be strangers. So what's your biggest challenge over there, Mike? What do you have the hardest thing with there in Kenya?
Clean water.
I love old people. You learn a lot from them, says Colleen. You sure do. If they've been at all wise in their life, they will have learned things they can pass on. Mad Wabbit goes both ways. My sins. Wife have had SNAS RNs, appealing, steal meds from patients. Tattoos are a sign of the past, not the present. Bear is a perfect example of that. Well, it depends on who it is, Cindy, because Bear is a good example of someone who had the tattoos from a past bad life, but he has repented and moved on. And that's what you have to do.
But that's not everybody.
But that's not everybody. There's plenty of
That's not
people,
most people.
plenty of people who are still tattooing. I made my kids vow to not put me in a nursing home. Too many weird and angry people out there to chance it. Tribe-based skilled care nursing unit on Shofar? Question mark. I don't know that we're opening a tribe-based nursing care unit, but any believer can get a loan and do it. That's an entrepreneurial idea for y'all right there. And we can roll into another one that we've had lately that you guys could incorporate. I don't know if Pastor's talked about it on his Patreon or
I
not,
talked about it briefly. I think it was on my upper level Patreon thing.
but I had an idea, a vision, a couple of years ago because we get so many older women, and it can be older men too, contacting us saying, hey, we want to come live on Shofar Mountain, and they are not physically or financially capable of doing that. And or they may have little pets that they want to bring with them. And so, yeah, Shofar Mountain is not ideal for that. And it's not developed enough for that. But if, let's say, 4 of these older Hebrew women who are alone, who have some financial stability, like maybe they're living in a RV or they have their own house, but it's too big and they don't really want to stay there. If they could pool their money and buy one house and all 4 live there with their Social Security and retirement and whatever they have and their little pets, that would be a good way for them to do it. Because then they can pool their money and their cars, if they still have
Yeah, only
cars.
4 cars.
If all of them can drive, they don't have to have 4 cars. They can only have like 2 and sell the other 2. And then they can help each other take care of that house or even hire someone, but also know that they're not going to eat unclean food, that they're going to keep their Shabbat, that they're going to keep their feasts as the best they can. And they could even hire a brother to kind of be the caretaker and the security for them, a younger brother. Just like you get rangers who live on national parks and are the person who checks people in and checks people out and cuts the firewood. The younger Hebrew brother could be that for the older lady's house and maybe live in the house next door, and he could still have a family. He could be married and have kids, and his job, quote unquote, would be to help care for these women, and they can pay him. So I'm throwing that idea out there to any older sister or brother for you guys to start communicating with each other and trying to make this a reality for yourselves. Especially if any of you have some kind of property or possibly a large house right now that you have room in and would like to have company. Invite brothers or sisters to come live there. What do y'all think about that? All right, son's wife has had something RNs who are appealing, charming, and yet stealing from patients. You got to turn them into,
Nanny cam,
The-
Grammy cam.
yeah, you need Grammy Cam, and you need to turn them into the manager and get them fired. Patty Sanchez, shalom, hope you're feeling better. We're still in the throes of it, Patty, but thank you. I moved to have room for my in-laws. They're not on board, but I'm getting ready, said Ledwin. Steve Wilson, who inherits? They can decide that on their own. I mean, if you want to pass something on to your youngins, then have that conversation and write up a contract. Mike Holland, if you have wicked people in your company, as a rule, wickedness will befall you for sure. Mike, did you answer my question about what's the hardest thing for you there?
What's the greatest challenge?
Challenge. I learned most everything I know from my grandmother and her older sisters and brothers. I smile and say hello to all the elderly people I run into, and I've stopped to have conversations with most of them, says Thunder Chicken Ranch. All right. There's Caleb Martinez. Hey, shalom. All right. Linda Hipple had to sign off. Steve Wilson and Patty, thanks for supporting the channel. All right. I think it's a great idea. People need to band together, says Bad Wabbit. Even if they don't have property, I could use help with childcare and housekeeping so I can accomplish more homestead stuff, says Palmetto Paratrooper. Well, Palmetto, you can always hire somebody or contact someone and see if they want to move closer. If you'd be willing to do something like that for a Hebrew family, there's a family who needs somebody. I have thought about a parcel with hookups for us elderly with garden space. Exactly. And Tina for short said a Hebrew nunnery. I love it. Well, there's an idea for you all. It doesn't have to be just one. If any of you have any entrepreneurial spirit in you, check it out. Because also getting a loan, there's federal women business loans that are supposedly pretty easy to get. It's a good idea. Pool resources and security. Private pay for a caregiver if needed instead of going through all the red tape with Medicaid. False doctors and false pastors. These believers are thirsty for wisdom and are hardworking. Yep, all right. It might work, said Colleen. Bunch of women living together would really need to be like-minded or it could be a hot mess, but I love the idea. Well, right, it would have to be believers. It wouldn't work if it wasn't. Right contract, says Colleen. Exactly. The Covenant Homestead said, it's a beautiful drive. Yep, we've had a beautiful drive. We've been through some really lovely parts of several states. If y'all are ever in my neck of the woods, welcome for some home on the range time. Well, thank you.
Look at that. That looks like we're on the range.
Wide open spaces.
People, man.
America the Beautiful. Except drivers in the fast lane are going slow.
God, I don't get these people. They must not teach that anymore.
Or people forget it.
People are just
Nothing is more
bless their
rewarding.
little hearts.
Nothing is more rewarding than helping the elderly. I serve my neighbors as much as possible. That's awesome. I'm in North Texas. I have a room for rent, says Colleen Rodimer. Oh, anybody want to move to North Texas? Colleen's got a room to rent. I'm going to use my other hand because this one's getting sore. All right, so we've talked about that idea. Oh, to ask all y'all, what do you think about this bank situation?
Bank?
Yeah. I haven't even looked at the news, but I think it's a way for our media, our politicians to try to make a run on the banks. because you get that going on and bam, you're in a depression, and bam, everybody's poor, and bam, it's easy to control people when everybody's poor. What do y'all think? I'm gonna wait. Hopefully they can hear us. We're still connected. It's part of the reason I'm considering taking a retirement payout instead of trusting a future pension system. Slow burn until only the big banks are left to bring in the central bank digital currency, says Bad Wabbit. And if they do that, what are your Federal Reserve notes going to be worth? Are they going to honor
Digital
those?
currency. Yeah, they'll turn it into digital currency.
Right? If they turn it into
Convert
digital,
it, and then they'll tie that to your social credit score, and then we will have no money.
right? If they make it digital, then cash means nothing except that's Pop right there. Right there, he's on the other end of that bridge behind the yellow barrels. Other end of the bridge. Except if they do digital currency, there's always a black market. There's always a black market when you get people messing with currency and banking, and certain people being allowed to do things and certain people who aren't, because there are always people who want to work around those systems. And if you're not getting paid anything for your chicken eggs or your corn or whatever, they just want to give you the little digital currency, and you don't want to go to the Walmart to buy your stuff, and you refuse to sell it. You'll find people who are poor, who don't have anything in their digital bank, who'll be willing to trade you something for
There was
your
a black
eggs.
market for cash, for gas, and for jewels in Burma when I was there.
Say that again, Pastor.
There was a black market for cash, for gas, and for jewels in Burma when I was there.
See that? Gas, cash, and jewels. There was a black market. And people who want to sell stuff that's illegal in the digital currency, whatever, just like they do now, they just go around it. You can buy drugs in America and it's illegal, right? How's that possible? Because the people who are selling them work their way around the system. Look at Lambkeeper. Social credits incoming. Well,
That's when we just stay on our land, grow our own
right.
food.
I don't want to be part of that system. I'm not interested in having somebody grade me, because I know I'm not a get along person. And I'm just not about having someone say, well, I don't like the way you wear your hair, and I don't like the way you use your shoes, and I don't like how you talk to me, and blah, 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 blah. I don't like how you don't wear makeup. I don't care. I grew up when people were pretty darn happy and free, and I'm not going back. Not doing it. All right, let's see some of your stuff. One could argue that we already have a digital currency, given that we are in a fractional reserve. Most capital does not exist
That's true.
in fiat currency. You are
That's why
absolutely
the bank runs work.
right. That's why the bank runs work. When they tell you it is safe is when you need to worry. Also, the sun and our weakened magnetosphere might have something to say about a digital currency. Water. In Ukraine, all services, purchases, everything is through only the government app. Includes social credit score. And turning in your neighbor if they are Russian sympathetic. And they're in the middle of a war and their country's getting torn apart. That's pretty desperate in my mind. Here I have 1 million liters of tilapia production. Cash is a tool, but production and self-sufficiency is wealth. That's right.
Go ahead and wrap this up.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to wrap this up. We are going to get offline now. We need to do some things, and my throat's getting kind of sore. Appreciate you watching, and it was a good conversation, y'all. Be careful out there. Thanks. Shalom.
I can't believe you talked that long.
45 minutes.